Well, it was a record-breaking day of heat across our area. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. Chris Pisano is off tonight. We do have team coverage for you of this summer scorcher. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo is standing by with how employers are keeping their workers safe in this heat. But first, let's start things off with a check on our conditions with First Warning meteorologist Janna Brown. Janna, it is just unbearable out there.
Yeah, it is ridiculously hot out there today. We did break the record. We hit a high of 97, at least. That was the highest reading I've seen so far today coming in from Westover. The record to beat was 95, and we definitely did that. Now, tomorrow could also be just as hot, but we do have more of a severe weather threat headed our way for tomorrow afternoon. In fact, right now we are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning across Berkshire County. This is expected to keep its strength through central portions of the county, but possibly lose strength as it moves over the mountains and into the valley. We've seen that already on the northern fringes here up into western Franklin County, but there's still the chance that you get hit with some very heavy rain, some cloud to ground lightning. The worst of it right now is central Berkshire County for sure. We're seeing a ton of lightning here with this severe thunderstorm. It is impacting areas from Pittsfield out to Williamstown. 6:15, it's expected to expire. If you're in the Chester area, you're probably already starting to get a little bit of thunder and lightning nearby, also out toward Middlesfield. So just keep an eye on this one. It is packing a bit of a punch through central Berkshire County right now. Western Hampden, Western Hampshire may also see it. It continues to move east, likely falling apart as it enters Northampton and Holyoke later this evening, closer to about 6:45 or 7 p.m. Everywhere else, we've got some sunshine and some very warm temperatures. We're back down to the low 90s, but dew points have actually climbed to the mid 70s. So right now the heat index is still from about 100 to 105 throughout the Connecticut River Valley. Now tomorrow is our last day of this. Again, some nasty storms tomorrow afternoon, followed by some much cooler weather as we head toward the holiday weekend. I'll have more on that in just a few minutes. Jordyn.
All right, Janna, sounds good. Thanks. Continuing our team coverage now. When the heat hits, some people are luckier than others when it comes to their jobs. For those who work outside, flexibility is key, and sometimes putting off jobs until the heat subsides is critical. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live now in Chicopee with more. Audrey?
Maybe you've noticed crews working out earlier in the day, or maybe you've had a construction project get delayed. Some businesses, on the other hand, are expecting to be busier due to the extreme heat and the warm weather. All in all, timing is everything.
It's really enjoyable seeing all the kids walk around and enjoy their ice cream. It's super cute.
When the mercury rises, it's safe to say one of the coolest places to be is an ice cream shop. At Mr. Cone in Chicopee, employee Paige Lassard can hand out the most popular flavors.
The flavor what?
Flavor burst.
While enjoying bursts of cold air from the freezer.
Everybody wants ice cream, it's hot, but being in the freezer is so nice, scooping it.
For those who work in construction, loading trucks and lumber is more of a challenge in the heat. Something Bob Boilard of A. Boilard & Sons is prepared for.
We have spots for them to both hydrate and cool.
Boilard also says his employees have the flexibility to start their day earlier and leave before the blazing heat of the afternoon. But because his company also provides supplies to contractors, Boilard tells Western Mass News he's noticed a trend of those workers delaying jobs.
We'll get phone calls from roofers that will delay shipment just because of the heat, absolutely, because they just don't want to put the guys up there right now.
It's one thing to be hot on the ground. It's another to deal with extreme heat
on the roof. Exactly.
Now, shifting in outdoor activity to earlier in the day is something that even the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends. They say if you've got a gardening task or a DIY project, do it earlier in the morning to avoid that midday heat. Live in Chicopee, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
All right, Audrey, thanks for that live report. A post-pandemic shortage of replacement parts is impacting repairs for air conditioning units and home systems this week. So what do you do if you find yourself without an AC during temperatures in the high 90s? Western Mass News is getting answers from Chris Hess, the service department dispatcher for McCormick alum. He says this shortage is nothing new, but the increasing wait time is.
They haven't had to wait that long, but for instance, we had something that was a 3 to 5 day lead time, and then once it was ordered, it was a 2-week lead time.
His advice? Plan in advance of the next heat wave by checking your air conditioner, both indoors and outdoors. That means changing any filters and making sure that you don't have any bushes or plants that are blocking a unit outside. And to stay up to date on this summer scorcher, including the latest forecast, you can download our free streaming news app or log on to our website, westernmassnews.com. Revealed today, a major crackdown on gangs, guns, and drugs carried out by a new task force now operating in Hampden County. Western Mass News reporter Matt Santilli joins us live in Springfield with more on how this group is helping keep the streets safe. Matt?
Jordyn, here in Springfield, federal, state, and local law enforcement officials from several communities came together today to detail what they called the dismantling of an organized criminal enterprise.
Everyone in this region, everyone in this county deserves a safe neighborhood, a quiet street, and a secure home to live and raise a family.
These are members of the Knox Street Posse, a gang based in Springfield. Hampden County District Attorney Anthony Gallooni says they are responsible for the piles of confiscated guns, drugs, and money laid out in front of his podium Tuesday morning in downtown Springfield. We're told Operation Knocks Out resulted in 15 arrests, 20 firearms, 100,000 bags of heroin, nearly 3 kilograms of cocaine, and over $70,000 recovered. Gallooni says the trio of Garcia brothers, Jeremy, Austin, and Justin, at the forefront of the operation.
All are now charged with serious crimes for which they are held by the state's dangerousness statute for a minimum period of 120 days.
The crackdown carried out by a permanent new fully staffed task force called SAFE, or the Strategic Action and Focused Enforcement Unit, with the Hampden County District Attorney's Office partnering with Massachusetts State Police, the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Homeland Security Investigations, Hampden Sheriff's Department, the Massachusetts National Guard, and the Holyoke Police Department, West Springfield Police Department, and East Longmeadow Police Department. Their singular goal?
To promote safer streets, safer neighborhoods, and safer communities across Hampden County.
Kenneth Kwok with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives calling this one of their most successful operations he's ever seen.
What I see in front of me today is one of the most successful investigations that we've had throughout the country.
Now, we reached out to Ryan Walsh, spokesperson for Springfield Police Department, to ask why SPD is not involved with this task force. And he tells Western Mass News it's a manpower issue that prevented them from enlisting a full-time officer. But he adds that they helped along every step of the way, including intelligence, arrests, and records. He also tells me that the hope is to reach a point in the future where they can dedicate a full-time officer. Reporting live in Springfield, Matt Santilli, Western Mass News.
All right, Matt, thanks. The Department of Public Health releasing today's COVID-19 data. They say the state's positivity rate over the past week sits at 0.33%. They say there has sadly been one new death due to the coronavirus, and so far, just under 60% of the state has been fully vaccinated. For a full look at the numbers, check out our free Western Mass News streaming app. Happening now, a rally against the Southwick Carvana project. It's a proposed town project that brings a vehicle processing facility to College Highway. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis joins us live with more. Leon?
Yeah, Jordyn, the planning board will decide on how to move forward as these protesters are looking for the voices to be heard. As you can hear, cars are driving through, beeping their horns as they hold up signs. Now, the protest started at 5 tonight. The planning board meeting starts at 7. At least 12 people plan to speak during public comment on why the board should not move forward. Their goal is to get the board to think about the project.
We have not had the chance to directly dialogue with the planning board, so that's why tonight is so critical. This is really going to be the opportunity to say what we find to be objectionable about this project, and hopefully there will be either a delay tonight or, in the best case scenario, a no vote.
Now, according to the plan submitted to the town, the facility would be built on an old tobacco field, and the developer claims it would not pose a risk to polluting the water or air. If the planning board does move forward, there is a 21-day appeal process. Now, we did reach out to the town about how tonight's possible vote may play out, but we did not hear back from them. Live in Southwick, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
All right, Leon, thanks. Springfield City Councilors holding a meeting today to discuss a request to audit the marijuana selection process. Justin Hurst, chair of the audit committee, called for the audit, citing a lack of transparency. The selection process is now in round 2, and counselors say it has raised several red flags on how applicants are chosen. They claim one applicant was selected and moved on to round 2 while allegedly in violation of zoning laws. They're asking for clarification for the council and for other applicants.
So we certainly want to identify if there is any wrongdoing that, but at the same time, we want to insulate ourselves against liability. And then we want to figure out how we get better for future rounds.
Tonight's meeting is focused entirely on the process of selecting marijuana dispensaries and the call for an audit.